We're now going to be moving on to a skill that I'm sure many parents at home would definitely like their child to do better, and that's instruction following. Once a child's developed good receptive and expressive discrimination, moving on to instruction following and more specifically 1, 2, 3-step instructions is a really great way to develop a child's receptive language and their general ability to communicate receptively. So I like, when I start doing 1-step instructions with a child, to use similar things to what we were doing with our gross motor imitation. So if you remember earlier with our gross motor imitation, we were clapping our hands, we were tapping our table, we were putting our hands on our head. And a great reason to use those as our 1-step instructions when we first start off is that we know the child can do it. We know they have the motor function to be able to do that well. So we don't want their ability to perform their actions getting in the way of them listening to us and performing the correct response. So when I first start doing this drill with shoulder, I'm going to ask her to clap her hands. Now, if all she's done so far is imitation, when I ask her to clap my hands, and of course I don't clap my hands because we're not going to be doing this now because we don't want that to be a prompt, every chance she's not going to do it. So, shoulder, clap hands. Well, let's try again. Shoulder, clap hands. Great work, shoulder. Here's a token. So, as you can see there, in the beginning, you may need to physically prompt your child to perform the 1-step instruction. That's totally okay. You want to use the minimum prompt you can, so if you have to do full hand over hand, that's fine. But it might look something like this. Shoulder, clap hands. Oh, let's try again. Shoulder, clap hands. Nice, good work. So you might just need to give a very minimal tap or reminders to your child to engage them into doing the correct 1-step instruction. So let's pretend for a moment that shoulder is actually a wizard at 1-step instructions. This is what it's going to end up looking like. So it's, okay, shoulder, clap hands. Great work. Touch nose. Very good. Tap table. Superstar, you've got your tokens. Here's your shiny reinforcer. Now, once a child is at that stage of mastery of 1-step instructions, you can begin to move them to 2-step instructions. And this is great because this is the sort of stuff that you're going to have going on around the house all the time. Like, go to your room, get your shoes, or, go to the fridge, have a drink. Like, 2-step instructions are something that we use all the time in a basic home environment, and we sort of, we don't think about it, we take it for granted, but it's a really great skill to develop in your child. So when I first start doing 2-step instructions with a child, I want to prompt it like this. So let's assume shoulder is really great at 1-step instructions at this point. So when I first start doing 2-step instructions, I want it to look like this. So shoulder, clap hands, tap table. Very good. So you can see I left a delay there. So let's do that again. Shoulder, clap hands, tap table. So you can see I shortened the delay. Now, this in reality might take a few dozen trials before you start to see that curve, but eventually it's going to look like shoulder, clap hands, and tap table. That's the end point. So it goes from a delay in between the 2 instructions to give your child that time to process, and you're just going to slowly cut down on that delay so they're processing the 2 instructions in their entirety. And then, of course, once a child's really great at 2-step instructions, you can move on to 3-step instructions. So, shoulder, clap hands, tap table, go for a walk, and you can make this fun. So just like we were talking about with the gross motor imitation, where you start off with the easy stuff, but you could do jumping, you could do whatever you want. You can make this really fun, and you can do stuff like shoulder, go to your room, get me a toy, and then put it on the bench. That's a 3-step instruction, and it's got a lot of movement involved, and it's very, very functional, and a child is more likely to probably enjoy that than being totally table bound. Just because a lot of the discrete trial stuff we do is very easily executed in a tabletop situation, if you can figure out ways to to inject these concepts around your house and to do these tasks in a more fun, functional way, absolutely go ahead and do it.